And welcome back to Nihilism. This is Drew.
Yes, I'm here.
I'm Ryan. Yeah, sorry. Hey, stole your thunder. What were you just telling me about Greg Mason?
I just looked it up and apparently...
Greg Mason, right?
Yes, Greg Mason. The reason he's been attached to such garbage before Chernobyl is he's predominantly a script fixer, so people will send him garbage and he tries to make them more coherent.
So the Carrie Fisher kind of...
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, so
script
apparently
doctor.
That's why he's unfortunately been associated with lesser material.
Oh.
Hopefully now people will see him as an actual writer and give him the opportunity to make some other stuff if he wants to.
Well, do you think he could have fixed Godzilla, King of the Monsters?
I don't think there's anything that really needs to be fixed other than more monsters and less rainstorms.
What? Man, we should have just... Originally we were going to do this episode together with John Wick. I'm wondering if we've got enough chaff to talk about to make a whole episode out of Godzilla. I mean, we got 13 minutes out of John Wick. I'm sure we can do that for this.
Yeah. Godzilla to me is like... It makes me kind of sad, but also hopeful because the way this property is being treated is how I wish the Transformers was treated. Because they're both inherently stupid. Granted, the original Godzilla is not really a movie about a giant lizard. It's more a movie about living in like the post-atomic world.
Mm-hmm.
And then that just became, hey, we can make a ton of money making, these movies and getting kids into these movies. And then they kind of work back around into people just like seeing monster fights because this is iconic now. Transformers is a stupid concept, but Godzilla is an example of you can take a stupid concept and treat it seriously enough that it's a respectable property.
Okay.
And fortunately now that's the direction they're going in with Transformers, it seems. They got a newer guy who cares about the franchise to do the Bumblebee movie, which everybody thought was just going to be a prequel, to now everybody's like, this is better than anything that came out beforehand. Just go off of what's here and do something different.
I think with the Transformers, though, we're at the point where that franchise is so ruined that unless you did a total reboot...
That's what they're doing.
Oh.
They were going to try to fudge... They were going to try forcibly to say this is a prequel, to where now they're like, all right, it's a reboot. Because everybody's like, everything sucks except for this.
You're saying everything sucks?
Yeah, everything Transformers-wise sucks except for, Bumblebee, which it's a simple movie, has a heart, and has the core there of what you want. So they're going to try to stick with that. They'll fail eventually because that's just what big studios do.
Mm-hmm.
But no, Godzilla, I haven't seen Skull Island, but I saw 2014 and King of the Monsters, and I like both of them. They're not cinema. 2014 is a better like movie, but this is an awesome film. Or it's a better film. This is an awesome, like, fun movie to go to.
Skull Island was garbage.
Really?
I hated it.
I gotta watch it. I gotta watch it because I've heard very different opinions of it.
I couldn't get into it.
I don't think I will because I don't care about King Kong, even though he did precede Godzilla. Godzilla is so much more cool.
Well, it was more about shoehorning in John C. Reilly jokes.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what ruined it for me.
Their shelf life.
Yes. Kong Skull Island was just... I don't think it knew what it wanted to be. Between John C. Reilly and Samuel L. Jackson, it was a mess.
There were too many sheets of cheese on the patty.
Yeah, sure. But not even good cheese. Cheap, American, not even individual
cheese product.
Yeah.
American singles are terrible. Do not eat them. But no, we're diverging. I don't mind Kong Skull Island. There are definite issues. Of course, the human story.
Skull Island? King of the Monsters?
I don't mind Godzilla, King of the Monsters. We've both been up since 1.
Yeah.
There are definite issues with it. Because you need to have humans, apparently, in these movies.
Do you? I mean, you do, but there's two ways to go about that. You can either make the humans the focus and actually make you want to care about them, but that could take away from the story of the monsters.
Probably what I think happened most in 2014.
Well, at least they tried, but
yes.
I don't think the characters worked all that well.
I don't think Aaron Taylor Johnson's that good of a lead actor for that to have worked.
Or you can...
Bryan Cranston was.
And they killed him.
Yes. And they do the same thing in this movie. Spoilers.
Yeah.
This movie probably would have been better if the human focus was on the two best actors, Sally Hawkins and Ken Watanabe. Spoilers, they both die.
I mean, she makes it to the end, right?
Who?
Sally.
She dies as soon as Ghidorah gets woken up. She's the one who fell out of the osprey.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
No, you're.
Yeah, it's kind of hard because Ghidorah is so fucking cool. He zaps people into dust with his lightning.
Which brings us to option 2, which is you put in human characters as the most bare bones
tropes with legs,
and you just use them to get the plot from one point to another, and then.
And unfortunately, in at least 1 to 2 roles, criminally underuse better actors than what they're given. Charles Dance is in this movie. Why?
I don't know.
He's not even the real antagonist. He's just the gun guy.
Which is a shame.
Yes. But he does survive.
He does. But he is such an incredible actor that...
even with little material, he's convincing in the 2 scenes he gets to talk for the most part in this movie.
He walks into a room and you know that this is Charles Dance's scene.
Yes.
Even if it's not.
Yeah. And I would say they made a mistake playing Millie Bobby Brown younger than she actually looks and can act in this movie.
Oh, I completely agree. Because you ended up with this weird plot spoilers, towards the end where she somehow steals MacGuffin device.
Yes.
Walks out of base, walks all the way into the city of Boston, walks into a broadcast booth, and hooks the thing up again.
Again, you need characters to get to places so that you can have the fun stuff. No, I'm not arguing with you. I'm just saying this is the flaw with the movie, is that you need characters to do things and to get places so that things can happen.
But I think it can work better. I think this style of movie making worked better with something like Pacific Rim, where the characters were there just enough to thread everything together.
Yeah, and Pacific this does what Pacific Rim does in that it leans into itself. But it leans into itself more serious, which I don't mind, honestly, here. I know you could go into, like, Pacific Rim territory where it's not goofy stupid, but it's just, they get you to believe in it. And they do that here, but they kind of try to ground it a little bit too much in some ways.
Okay.
But I don't know. I don't care. This movie's fun. It does get boring in parts. There's a good 15-minute to 20-minute chunk in the middle where they really should have screened it more and saw what they could have done to fix certain things, because a movie like this should never lull.
No, you need to keep... I mean, it's a globe-trotting movie.
Yes. In
the most literal sense. And the fact that there's any downtime, I would rather have to suspend my disbelief and accept that these characters are moving at Littlefinger jetpack speeds.
Yes.
Instead of there being a dull scene. I'm willing to suspend disbelief for stuff, but I'm not willing to accept boredom out of a movie that is supposed to just be entertaining.
Yeah. It does lead to the best acting scene in the movie.
Which one?
Serizawa in Atlantis.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
Yeah, it's Godzilla. Anything can happen. So by the way, King Ghidorah is from fucking space, like he should be.
I'm okay. I was okay.
And it's a good plot point. Let's go into the plot. This is
sure.
Simple.
Go ahead.
So you have eco-terrorists who have worked for Monarch, so they know that Monarch has bases around the world where they've not captured, but are kind of monitoring all these slumbering Titan creatures, and they're like, yeah, we're pretty much like the worst thing on the planet at this point. And you get a little bit of it at the end that, like, that Godzilla-verse radiation from Godzilla creatures is like benevolent radiation in some way. Like, they show like they make the error of showing this only quick, but like the ruins of San Francisco are like a forest now, which would have been a cool element to have given a little bit more weight to the villain's plot.
They do more of it in the end credits, but by that point it was too late.
Yeah, but the idea is we're gonna go tabula rasa here. Anybody who can get hidden can survive. We're gonna wake all these things up. we have a MacGuffin that can control them because it emits an alpha frequency.
Oh, I won't even get into that.
Okay,
but the whole
stupid science.
I will
stupid
get into
movie
it.
Science is fine here.
The alpha thing, the guy who came up with the term alpha in reference to wolves did it based on one study, put a book out, and the book went nuts. He then went back and tried to replicate a study and realized that, oh my god, I was full of shit.
Yeah.
And he spent the rest of his life trying to get people to not believe what he first said because it's bad science.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, but that's just
this movie lives in pseudoscience. I'm fine with that because it gives you enough to buy in. Hollow Earth. It has to be a giant nuclear plane because it never lands or refuels. Just accept the nonsense. It's Godzilla. It's really fun. But yeah, getting back to the plot. So they're like, okay, we're going to emit this alpha frequency because, like in pseudoscience land, a dominant creature is going to kowtow all the lessers. So we're going to use this on whatever creature we find to be the most powerful, dominant, control that, and then we'll just let them raise everything, and then we'll rebuild when we're done.
And it's not really a new plot. Rainbow
no,
Six
it's not
was
a new
about
plot.
that.
It's not a new plot. It's a simple plot. It's all you really need for the human plot. The problem is they decide to use this on Monster Zero. Monster Zero is King fucking Ghidorah. They find out too late that why doesn't the thing work on him? Why does he just want to kill it? Because Ghidorah is from space. He's not from Earth. So the alpha frequency for Earth Titans will not work on him. It just makes him mad. And that's what's hilarious, because the movie has this silly, stupid, convoluted villain plot that immediately is, we fucked up already. And I like that aspect of it.
And they even refer to it as an invasive species.
Yes.
Which is kind of neat.
I like the idea that, yes, the giant golden three-headed Hydra dragon is an alien. Accept that.
What did you think of the design on it, though?
Ghidorah?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay.
I love the Ghidorah design. If you looked at the classic Ghidorah, it's basically a less frumpy version of it.
Got it. I did think, as much as I did like it, I don't think it felt as natural and organic as some of the others.
No, Ghidorah is a weird design. And can you imagine how hard it is for a suit actor to play that?
Impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, Ghidorah's he's the Joker to the Batman that is Godzilla. So Ghidorah is gonna look weird because that's just what he's looked like, and he's in time become the number one Godzilla adversary. So he's gonna be in a focal point of Godzilla movie, and people are gonna freak out. Toho especially if you're changing his design too much.
I thought that both Mothra and Rodan looked great.
Mothra's awesome. I wish she was in this more. Because if you don't really know, Mothra doesn't kill anybody in this movie. She incapacitates people because Mothra is like the guardian of Earth. And there's a really cool scene. I think I said to you, I'm like, oh, did you notice that the one doctor's on the plane and there's an identical twin? Because Mothra has twin like elf sisters that are like her heralds.
In basically every incarnation of the character. Yeah.
And they kind of shoehorn that in, and they're like, oh, your whole family is third generation monarch, and every generation has twin sisters. Which is really a cool way to like take a really goofy element. A lot of Godzilla lore is goofy like that, but put it in here. And yeah, Mothra's great. The Rodan scene's probably the best scene in the movie.
Which part?
When he awakens and is just literally spinning and taking out jets.
Yeah. And then flying over the city and just
that's how he destroyed the city in his first movie too. He literally, his updrafts were just like gale force winds.
Although this looked better.
Yeah. But no, like Rodan's that little asshole who is gonna back whoever the biggest kid on the block is. So of course he's on Ghidorah's side because Ghidorah kicks his ass. And then Godzilla kicks his ass.
Well, here's a question for you. The very end of the 2014 Godzilla is when Godzilla kills the other kaiju. It's the first time we get to see his nuclear fire breath.
Yes.
And I'll be honest with you, I loved it.
Yes.
It's very rare.
2014 did a good job in showing Godzilla and showing his powers of earning those payoffs.
This is one of the few times I've felt that anything involving a big CG element to a movie was earned, or that it gave me any sort of emotional reaction. This was like, yeah, this is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So, did you get any of those moments in this movie?
I'm not a lifelong Godzilla fan, but I could see where they could. Like Ghidorah rising from ice is really a good scene.
Okay.
The like it's in the trailers. The shot of Ghidorah on the volcano is a really cool stylistic scene. Like they play around a lot with cool stuff. It's just it doesn't have the weight that it would have seeing it initially. They want you have to have seen 2014 to have seen it to see this movie.
Which is another interesting point.
Yes.
This is definitely.
It's a hard sequel.
It's also. Is it a hard sequel or is it more of a cinematic universe at this point? Because
well, it's MonsterVerse. It's the confirmed MonsterVerse, but it's you don't have to have seen 2014. You get enough of what happened in it in this movie to understand like what you need to understand. I mean, you'd be lost on a couple things like Monarch is just there.
Yeah,
and a lot of 2014 is like what these things are real and what secret organization's been watching them. What that's like the real appeal in 2014. It's definitely not the endless scenes of Aaron Taylor Johnson cosplaying as a Marine.
Overall, though, recommend it.
If you liked 2014, it's not the same feel. But if you like Godzilla, anyways, and like we're an apologist for 2014 or wanted more out of 2014, this is exactly the movie. It's made by a guy who wanted to make a Godzilla movie in a classic sense, and from what I have read online from people, this is a top tier Godzilla movie in terms of, yeah, we know Godzilla movies have bare bones human characters, bare bones human plots, but very rarely are they presented this earnestly.
It's kind of weird that it was Ryan Johnson, right?
For the first one, for
yeah.
2014, yeah.
It's kind of weird they didn't bring him back.
Why? So that he could ruin another franchise?
But between the two movies, I like 2014 better than 2019.
I haven't watched 2014. I think probably more as a film. 2019 is really fun though.
True.
But 2014.
By the way, it's a narrow margin that I like 2014 better.
2014 is a more competent film. 2019's director's only done a couple of like niche horror movies before this, I think.
Oh, I don't know anything about him.
Yeah. And this is like his first big budget movie, like big budget studio back movie. So for it to come out this competent and this much of a vision of what he wanted and what fans have wanted, I think that's commendable.
It had good numbers on Thursday, and then by the weekend, it did not do as well.
No, I think I think Godzilla, especially in the West, is you either like it or you don't. It's not gonna get new fans really.
Yeah, the people that wanted to see it saw it as soon as it came out. And I don't think it's going to get a lot of traction. There's not going to be a lot of word of mouth. The people that do see it, that recommend it to their friends, are going to say, by the way, caveat, you got to see 2014 first.
Yeah.
So how many people that haven't seen that are going to go to the movies? I don't know. There's a lot working against it in terms of being a big success.
Yeah, success-wise, it doesn't matter. It's a success in its own fans' eyes, which is all you really want out of something. A studio put this much money on the line to make a niche group happy, and that's fine.
But if you want more out of this, which clearly they've got set up, they need to do a better job of getting this out to more people.
Yeah. I don't know. I think at this point they're really just banking on it's Godzilla, it's King Kong. People are going to want to see two iconic characters, regardless of the history there. So
the ending, we're assuming Godzilla's transitioning to heel.
No.
Well, he's the king of the monsters now.
No, Godzilla here is presented as closely, I would say, to the Heisei era, like the 80s to 90s era, where he is the middle ground, where he'll help, but don't expect him to always help.
But
it's not classic villain Godzilla in any way whatsoever.
But King Kong, I'm assuming, is going to be portrayed as the protagonist.
I don't think so. I think they're probably both just going to fight in the first scene, and then they're going to fight something worse.
Oh, okay.
Probably another big bad from Godzilla, because they did use the oxygen destroyer, which is the original Godzilla's
which
weapon,
is a nice touch.
which was kind of a throwaway, unfortunately.
Unless you knew what it was.
Well, no, in terms of like you could have built up to that narratively, but it's just like, oh no, we built this.
Oh,
boom,
yeah.
And then here's the 14 minutes of dead time in the movie. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But no, one of Godzilla's best monsters was a byproduct of Godzilla cells and the Oxygen Destroyer. And now you've got Ghidorah's cells there too. So there's a possibility that that's the, hey, we're setting up for a big bad. Because there's no way you're just going to have Kong and Godzilla fight. They're two hero characters, I guess, just iconic characters. You're not going to...
So are we going to get a Batman v Superman where... Well, that's kind of what you're describing.
Why did you say Mothra?
No, Martha.
Mothra.
Oh,
I expect something like they fight and then Mothra tells them to stop.
Fight
in the Mothra way. To
fight Mechagodzilla. Or
Mechagodzilla is definitely going to show up. There is a headline saying that there's a mechanical thing being built by Monarch. Mechagodzilla's awesome when done right.
You know, the Godzilla movie that I owned as a kid, I don't know where I got it, but on VHS, was Godzilla versus the Sea Monster, which is the big crab monster. And when they're showing, they cut back and forth to a couple of monsters several times. At the big mammoth, when they're showing the other 17 or 19 kaiju.
Yeah, they didn't use everything they got from Toho, I don't think, or Toho didn't license everything.
Wait, is kaiju the correct term?
Kaiju is the correct term.
Okay.
But they didn't license because like you could have had like Anguirus, you could have had a bunch of other monsters.
But I saw a quick snippet of what looked like a crustacean.
Yeah.
And they never came back to it, so I'm hoping that was just a little nod. Either A, it's a nod, and they didn't want to have to fully render the sea monster, or B, maybe my childhood dream of seeing a better version of Godzilla versus the sea monster might happen at some point. I don't know.
I think there's going to be more. I think it's big budget cinematic universe. You're just going to get escalations. There's going to be more big things to fight in the future. I think they're going to finish King Kong versus Godzilla, and that's going to be it. Like, I just think the money's not going to be there as far as keeping it going. But I think, like I said at the beginning of this, it's what I wished for Transformers. Like, just do 3 crazy big budget movies that care enough about the source material to not piss everybody off, or in the case of those movies, insult everybody's intelligence. And these movies aren't doing that. Of the 2 that I've seen, they're exactly what I expected them to be. Perhaps a little bit more there to 2014, but 2019 is all the monster stuff you want to see.
Well, if it comes down to a straight recommendation or not, I would say recommendation.
I would.
However,
the only 2 real Godzilla movies I've seen are 2014 and this, and I really like them. They're fun. I can see the appeal.
I do have to say that if you're coming in expecting the tone of the first one, it might ruin it for you. It took me a while to figure out that they were intentionally shifting tones, but once I figured out that they were kind of leaning a little more into the camp aspect of things, I started to enjoy the movie a lot more.
Yeah,
I'm actually going to see it again because I promise we saw it, and then
has your dad seen more Godzilla?
I have no idea.
See, because that's the thing. If he's seen more, he'll probably like it more, and it's probably because this movie's made for people who've seen more. The music, Bear McCreary, I don't know how you can give Bear McCreary credit, because he basically just made new versions of all the classic themes.
Oh, yeah. I didn't even think of that.
Yeah, the music's great, because it's the old music, just new, with Skyrim chanting, which really makes it awesome. Yeah, I'd recommend. It's just good fun, and if that's your bag, the end track is a cover of the Blue Oyster Cult song. That's the tone of the movie. Like, it never leans fully into like absurdity, but it realizes what it's built on the backs of.
Yeah, go see it. It'd be nice to see them at least give this a third and final part. And who knows, if it picks up some traction or gets better, then might go even longer. How many original Godzilla movies were there? From dozens,
29
right?
now?
Yeah.
29 now? No, 29 or 30?
I don't want that many.
Yeah.
But
if from what I've gathered, if you want more of the tone of 2014, watch 54 and watch Shin Godzilla, the newest Japanese one. Those are the ones that are more about a certain tone and a theme than just fun. Like, this is just fun. entertaining. Like I said, there's definitely a little lull in the runtime where you wish they would have done something editing wise or whatever, but it keeps up enough throughout.
The most fun with radiation you can have this side of Chernobyl.
Yeah. Also, if you're into sports, Boston's irradiated and unlivable now, so
Good.
they can't ruin anything for anybody anymore.
Or Larry Bird, but he always looked like maybe he'd been exposed.
Oh, he's in Iowa. he's in Indiana or Iowa at this point. But yeah,
just that's it. Go see it. Have fun with it. This is one of the finest examples of popcorn film.
Yes.
Yeah, so is John Wick.
If we're talking about it. That's why we've kind of paired these two reviews in a way.
Yeah.
You can just go and have fun at the movies. I mean, we're gonna pick them apart anyways, but we both had fun at these. There's things wrong with them, but we weren't like angry leaving the theater.
Right. And that's it. I've got nothing else. I had fun.
Hopefully this keeps up. This is a good start to this summer, I would say. I mean, nothing like crazy. Endgame was excellent, but I mean, I have a feeling Dark Phoenix is going to be boilerplate.
That's exactly what the early reviews are saying. Yeah, we're recording this on a Thursday.
Yeah,
so
I'm going to see it because I think it's the last Fox.
Let me know when. If we can get to a matinee, so we're not paying.
Yeah, after Apocalypse, I just expect more of the. We're still going with this universe.
Is that next then? Are we going to go see that?
I'm going to. So
we want to go like next week, like at 11 a.m. show.
Yeah.
All right. I guess that's it. Cool.
Stay tuned.
It's just riveting as we cover this summer's blockbusters. You know what we got to do? We've got to do another staff recommendations sort of.
Yeah.
There's a few things I've got that I need you to borrow. So
yeah, we should do a. You'll probably hate this, but we should do like that kind of thing. Like I want to we should make each other watch something that would be out of our wheelhouse.
Yeah, as long as it's I can't do anime. I'm sorry. it's the one thing I can't do. But you give me anything else live action, and I will give it a shot.
Yeah, we should probably do something like that.
All right. Stay tuned, everyone. Thanks for listening.